What up, hustlers?
LA based, but I'm in New York right now. Then I'm going to go to Canada in a week and a half. And then after that, jetting off to Europe and Israel.
That's really cool. Israel. That's different.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. That's cool. Yeah. Where in Europe are you looking forward to going?
I believe we're going to London and Italy, Rome. So.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, cool. So, yeah, do you want to tell us a bit about yourself? Like, I find it really interesting that, all your clients have really come from word of mouth. So I think a lot of people here can get a lot of value from that because really asking for referrals is something that isn't a lot of people do. So, yeah, I'd love to hear more about what you do and how you got started.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so it's really funny. So my background is I went to school to be a vet. And so a lot of my stuff that I take on ends up viral. I was a Myspace queen in, the early 2000s.
Okay. Cool.
If you were on Myspace, you were probably on mine. So, scene kid. So social marketing and social media marketing, I guess, was just kind of a natural thing. But even now, a lot of my stuff goes viral. So it's super easy for my clients to be like, hey, use Nicky. Like, they truly believe in me and the work that I do. I don't even ask for referrals. I actually ask them to knock it off with the referrals because I can't handle all of it right now.
Yeah. Well, that's great.
I know. And it kind of makes me so sad because I'm on a lot of the social media groups and a lot of people are like, I am struggling. I'm doing so much cold emailing. And I'm like, I've never done that. And I'm trying to give them tips. I'm like, if your work speaks for itself, people will come to you. So I think that's kind of key. If you don't have results, then you're not going to prove anything to anyone. So.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, I'm going to take off my jacket now because I was outside and now I'm actually kind of hot.
That's cool. What's the weather like over there? Is it snowing or is it quite warm? Oh, I guess, with the jacket. Is it snowing or is it just cool?
It's really cold.
Over in New York?
Yeah, compared to LA, I was in shorts and a tank top the other day, and now I'm in 50 layers.
so goodbye tan.
Yeah, I actually don't tan. I am pale as hell. It's always a running joke that I glow in the dark. You can't tell because the lighting in here really sucks, but I'm pale as hell.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, I'm very much the same where I'll go red and they'll go white and then I'm just back to normal.
Yeah, there is no red or anything. It's just white all the time.
Yeah, fair enough.
So, but something I would like to do. I know that you and I both have not had much sleep in the last night, but
we're doing this shot.
We are gonna start off with our shot.
All right, we have pre-agreed everybody that we'll have a shot. That's cool. I just have an IKEA glass, so it'll do.
And I'm using this, which, hey, why not?
Fine.
This makes sense, right? Being a
exactly.
background.
It's Airbnb. Yeah, absolutely. It all fits. And look, Airbnb and all that shit, you got to make it work. So
I can be.
And you can even measure exactly how much you want. So.
All right, let's do 8 ounces here. No, I would die.
Perfect.
Okay. So.
I probably already had 8 ounces for the evening, but yeah. All right. Well, cheers.
So this is my Tito's. Cheers to you. Cheers to the couple people that are watching.
Beautiful. Let's do it. Oh my God, that's awful. I know I agree to that. Yeah. Public disclaimer, drink responsibly and follow all age limit laws. Boom.
All that. Don't drink and drive.
Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely. Don't drink and drive, but just drink and do everything else.
This show got more awesome. Rob, I like you. You are my kind of people.
Rob's
it's
great.
Really funny. So, a lot of people that talk to me on the phone, they're like, "Oh my God, you're so professional. I'm not even sure if I'm ready for you." Then they meet me, and I'm this tattooed rocker girl that drinks as much as any Irish person. I'm not Irish, but they drink a lot. And they're like, whoa, you're actually really cool. And I think that kind of helps seal the deal with my clients too, because I'm this cool chick. I'm actually looking forward to I have yet to actually meet anybody in the field like me. kind of like this party girl, but like actually like kind of serious at the same time.
Yeah, get shit done.
So I do get a lot done, but I'm also, I like to party hard.
Yeah, no, that's cool. Well, yeah, I mean, you got to do whatever you got to do. Like, I mean, as you're aware, and as many will now be aware of, it is 8 a.m. here in Adelaide. However, it wasn't 8 a.m. recently, and I was up and about. So,
Yep, we were swapping some Facebook videos. I thought I was going to murder you this morning. My phone's going off at 8 a.m. I've gotten like 50 minutes of sleep, and I'm like, I'm gonna kill someone. But it was fine. I had to get on my other Airbnb anyways.
It all worked out. Yeah, so
that was
how'd
fun.
that go? Yeah, were you staying close by in a different Airbnb, or did you have to travel a fair bit?
It was like 10 minutes. It's like a mile down the road, so it wasn't a big deal.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, that's easy. Yeah.
Really
cool.
So that was cool. Yeah, and I've had a couple of meetings since I've been out here. One of them was a networking meeting. So I would love to shout out to Tasmir of DM Firm, New York version, I guess, who, the power of Instagram. I posted on my marketing Instagram, which is still building up. My personal one has like 8,000, 7,000 followers, whatever. My new one, my marketing one is still building, but I posted, hey, going to be in New York from January 30th to the 5th. DM me if you want to meet up. And so she saw that, hit me up, sent me her email, and then we connected yesterday, and we actually had a really good time. Had a couple drinks, swapped ideas. Cool. A lot of my clients are creatives, music producers, music industry people in general. And she handles a lot of those types too. And I was like, well, what do you do when you have a producer or a musician or whatever that really is kind of the same as everyone else? Like, they don't really have something special. Like, what do we do here? So she gave me some really cool ideas for that, and I'm really excited. And so I am huge on networking. Huge on networking.
Oh, it's just an important tool, like, especially being in the online space now, coming from, say, a face-to-face, market as such. I've realized that how different it is, but at the same time, how important it is for clients and building your brand and building your business.
Oh, totally. And I don't see anybody as competition at all. I'm actually one of a person that would never do anything. I'm all about like building people up and empowering. And there's enough clients out there for everyone. And some people are better at certain things than others. Like, there's certain businesses I would never take on, and who would I send them to, right? But if I have my network, I can be like, you should go to this person. So
absolutely. And it's common. Yeah, absolutely. I had someone just the other day, he goes, hey man, do you know anyone that can help me out? I need a inexpensive team. I was like, yeah, cool, no worries. So Facebook message, boom, boom, put them together. He's like, dude, thank you so much.
I like all these little icons I'm seeing. Lots of hearts and laughy faces. I know, I'm hilarious. Really am.
Everyone's great.
I actually am. Hit up my mentor today. He actually is the reason I kind of started really going for it. And he has founded I think it's like a multi-million-dollar company at this point. He's 25. And I'm like, that's awesome. Whoa. And he's like a 25-year-old grandpa, as I say. But I was telling him about some experiences I've had in New York, and he was like, oh, something about girls melt for him, whatever, clients melt for him, whatever. And I was like, no, it was girls melt for him. And I'm like, I didn't realize that ice had a gender. Burn! He's going to kill me if he hears this podcast, by the way. He's going to be like, really, Nikki? Yeah, bitch,
you went there?
I got you.
Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah. Oh, shit. Yeah. That's funny. Yeah.
So.
Well, that's the thing. It's all about having fun and everything else. So it's just, you got to do what you got to do.
Totally. I'm a huge jokester. I pull a lot of pranks on people. Don't know how I never made it in as a comedian. Never tried, but I'm pretty sure I should have done that at some point. Or maybe I don't know. Maybe it's in the works.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I pull pranks on my housemate all the time, and it's funny because everyone jokes because he's like 6'4" or 5 or whatever, and he's like, dude, he's gonna snap one day and just murder you. I was like, I remember when we first moved in a few years ago. I moved in about a week prior to him, and his room. What we did, he's got I've got a king bed, but he's got my queen size bed, like the actual frame. So just temporarily put the mattress there, and then he was going to bring his own mattress. So I opened up a condom and they laid it out on the slats on the bed. And then I remember when he moved in with his old man, they lift up the mattress to move that to put his new one on. And his old man loses it, and he's just like, yeah, I've made a mistake moving in here.
That's awesome. Rob actually has a question, why the travels for work? So I kind of do things a little bit differently. One of the things, one of my goals for Donnell Marketing, and I know my name on Facebook is Nicky Lee. That's actually my middle name. Donnell is my last name. Is I like to do, my goal is to be a global, like have global outreach, global
Yep.
customers and stuff like that. And I'm definitely obviously achieving that.
Yeah.
And so I like to do intake meetings in person. Other than that, after that, it can be Skype or whatever. But I like people to actually
Cool.
meet me face to face, because a lot of the feedback I get is you are so different on the phone to who
Okay.
you are in person.
Yeah.
But I feel like because I'm so personable, and people see that and they meet me and I have this like really high energy and I'm very LA. Like I'm super
Yeah.
like smiley and bubbly and people are like, holy crap, that's who's running everything? This is
Yeah.
okay, sure.
Cool.
But I
Whatever
think it
works.
builds
Yeah.
trust. Yeah, I
It
think it builds
does.
trust.
Absolutely.
So I like to do my intakes in person. So
Cool.
if my clients are in another country, I just say, you foot the bill for me. It can be an Airbus. I don't really care. It doesn't need to be first class.
Yeah.
I'll get myself an Airbnb and let's do this. And let's make it for a week
Cool.
so I can vacay at the same time.
Yeah. Nice. Slide it in there. Just like, yeah, I'm out for a week.
Yep.
Yeah, that's awesome. And if
So,
that's what is working for you, then that's fantastic because it is a very unique way to do it. And if the clients are willing to foot the bill, then by all means do it. Like that's fantastic.
yeah. And it also shows me that they're actually serious. So
Yeah,
if they're
absolutely.
going
If
to
they're
foot
willing to put money down. Yeah.
yeah. And, and a lot of the time when I do an intake, I'm okay with like, it doesn't need to be like an immediate thing. Let's book it out for, when I have a little bit more time. So that way it is cheaper.
Yep.
And then when I do take people on, I let them know, here's what it is, for the cost and everything. All of your
Yep.
stuff for the first month is going to be built and, go through it. And then after that, everything's done for the month after. So it doesn't necessarily, they're not necessarily going to get like social media stuff like that day or, like that week or even that month. Like it'll be, everything is for the next month. So
Yeah. Okay, cool.
give myself time.
Yeah, that's it. Well, you need time to, research a client and put together things for them. So, these things don't happen overnight. So the longer they wait, it's actually better because it's more time you've invested in, helping grow their business.
Totally.
Yeah.
And I don't think I think my weakness is I'm not the most efficient with my work, because I am an overthinker.
Yep.
And having that biochem background, that includes like a lot of like math and, statistics and everything like that. So I use, if you ever were to see my whiteboard in my office, it's just full of like different mathematical formulas that make no sense to anybody else. And people are like, it looks like something out of Goodwill Hunting, honestly. And that is actually how I do a lot of my strategy is I create mathematical formulas to figure out if something will go viral. So the probabilities and stuff like that. So I have a very
unique
weird
perspective
approach.
on it. Yeah. Hey, if it works,
and
it works.
And I think, being self-taught, like you're going to be a little bit more different than if I had worked at an agency. I've never worked at an agency in my life. So I think I've taken my strengths, which are I'm very analytical. I'm very like, I have to have a visual of something, and then do a lot of testing. Just like, you kind of mentioned we're doing some testing with how you do your videos and stuff, a little split tests and stuff like that.
Yeah, absolutely. So important.
And I'd say, a lot of my stuff does go viral. Some of it doesn't work out. And I'm like, okay, where did that go wrong? So
Yeah. Oh, that's cool. Well, how did you make the transition from biochemistry to online marketing? Like, how did that happen?
So I was literally getting ready to go to vet school. And my ex is a doctor and his debt load was insane. And I know how much vets make. And I was like, literally like, I ended up like meeting my mentor and, that's a funny story, but anyways, meeting my mentor and he was telling me like how he does business. And he was like, I used to run my own agency and you should really consider it. So I pitched the vet clinic that I worked at, about doing their social media to test it out. Why not? Let's see if I still got this. Ended up being really successful. They had,
I got this.
After 1 month,
Yeah.
1,600% return on investment with me,
Yeah. Wow.
50% increase in their call volume, like intake volume.
Yep.
So I was like, oh, well, hey, maybe I do have
Sweet.
something here.
Yeah.
So ran with it, and it's just kind of gone to where it is now.
That's
I actually
awesome.
just
Yeah.
hired on a little team. I finally kind of expanded a little bit just from myself and just hired on a little
Cool.
bit of a small team. So
Yep.
it's cool.
Yeah, that's awesome. So I guess the question for everyone at home then is with the team is how did you know you're ready to start your own team?
Because I couldn't handle all the workload.
Great answer. Yeah.
Thanks, Veronica. Um, yeah, I was literally getting so many referrals from, actually, there's two main clients that I get my referrals from.
Yep.
And when I kept getting calls and like, they were like, hey, I just told this, so-and-so about you and they want to meet with you or talk with you or whatever. And I was like, okay, cool. And then the
Cool.
people are like, yeah, when do I start? Like, when can we start? And I'm like, okay, cool.
Yeah.
So it kind of turned into something that I was just trying to do freelance into something that I was like, okay, I'm going to actually freaking do this.
Yeah.
So I would love to be on Forbes 30 under 30. I only have
That'd
a
be
year
cool.
left for that. So let's see.
Yep.
Let's see. I turned 29 this
Yeah.
year. I think this is my last year I can be nominated. Never actually thought about it. Why the
Yeah.
hell not, right?
Well, that's
I
it.
think we have
Set
some
yourself a
people.
goal, go for it.
Totally. I think you've had some people on your show thing that have been mentioned on Forbes or something. So
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, if you have, so we've been very lucky in that respect. But yeah, I've got like a few months left, so it's like, yeah, maybe not.
yeah,
This is
yeah.
yeah,
Well, if I keep exponentially growing like I have been, I don't see why it couldn't happen. Yeah, you could totally be
exactly.
nominated, Ross. You know what? Let's nominate each other. Let's
Let's do it.
nominate each other. Power
That's
and
it.
freaking numbers.
Exactly. They'll work out
Um,
well. I'll do a post in the group, and they're like, if everyone nominates everyone, everyone gets 1,200 votes.
yes, exactly. Well, in November, I think is when nominations are. This group should be way more than 1,200 at the way
Oh
that you're
yeah,
going. Veronica,
yeah. It's
just hire somebody to mess up your documents and say you're 29. It's fine. You don't look a day old 23. I don't know. I haven't actually looked at your profile.
All right, so Rob had a question here. So, do prices change per region when you work with clients, or do you compensate for regions? Okay, oh, that's a good question.
What was the question? I'm sorry.
So, is in regards to regions, so if you have to travel to certain areas, does it cost more, and or is it like with the exchange in dollars as well, or is it just kind of you've got your own rate and then
Oh,
you
like
work
if
that
I'm
out?
doing like
So US or
it
UK or
honestly
yeah,
depends. It depends. Yeah, so I do have to do conversion.
yeah,
But it also depends on the business a little bit. I mean, I do have certain set prices, but if it's a referral, I have been known to, kind of work with their budget a little bit. Because again, I think in
yeah,
long term, actually, the New York client that I just am signing, I gave my prices, and his eyes were like, oh my God, because I do
yeah,
charge probably more than most people. I have tried to like do some market research, and I'm like, yeah, I'm definitely on the pricier side.
yeah. But
So
at the end of the day,
people do
it's
tend to bug
it's
out,
what works for you. Yeah. So like,
but
if that's working, then that's great.
it has been. So I also think in the long term. So this particular client, I really truly believe that he has something, and I'm very confident that I can get him to where he needs to be, so I can get where I want, where he needs to be paying me. So
Yeah.
I'll take a little bit of a hit, but I also know he has something. So
Yeah,
I
which is
said
awesome.
for 2 or 3 months, the contract says, I'll accept this as your, the term, but after that, it does increase to what it needs to be. So
Okay, cool. And that's great as well because it's really, putting your money where your mouth is, where you're saying, well, look, I'm willing to take a hit now for 2 months just because I've got that confidence that in 2 to 3 months, your business is going to be growing. So you're going to be able to afford to do what you're going to do.
yeah, totally. Sorry, my
Yeah,
my friend just had somebody come in. So I
that's
have
cool.
clients all around the world, and I have to compensate per region. Yeah, so you do have to, obviously there's going to be. I think the UK is. I don't remember. There's going to be money that's worth more and worth less. So
Yeah.
I do take that into account. So
Yeah, definitely. Well, that was one of the reasons I started growing my US network like straight away was because it's, the dollar's 30% stronger than the Australian dollar. So I was like, well, why wouldn't I?
oh, totally.
Yeah.
I feel like most of my clients are definitely LA. That's where I am. Now I'm picking up some New Yorkers, and then do you always charge in US? No, I don't always charge in US. So again, if it's like if I'm working with a European, and like if I'm working with an Italian or British person, I'll have to convert to pounds or euros or whatever it ends up being. So I will convert.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah, and that makes it easy for them as well.
Yeah, it's good for us at the moment, Ross. I like reading these little comments.
Yeah, same.
My ADD is strong. I'm like, Kenny, this thing's moving.
Right there.
And I also think that's one of the reasons I've been doing really good is because I do have that ability to multitask on 50 different things. I wish that my friend didn't have a client here right now. She's actually, we're mutual clients of each other. Actually, she's right here. Okay. Lauren, I'm on the podcast. Come here. Come here. Oh, hold on. I actually, we were at a meeting the other day, and she was telling somebody about my process, and it was really cool because I never actually knew that she was watching me when I worked. So I thought it was
Lauren,
the coolest thing. When we were out with here you go.
Hello.
Hey.
How are you, darling?
I'm really good. We were just joking that with you watching Nikki's process, it's kind of creepy.
Oh, this woman's a
I'm
genius.
Kidding.
Oh my goodness.
I'm messing with you.
So it's funny because she actually met me at a time in my life that I was at my lowest point, like truly the lowest of the low, and she has seen me like
transform. That's what I do.
Yep.
Awesome.
So she actually is a life coach. What do you like to?
Executive
coach.
Yeah. I work on total life transformation. So
first three-way.
That's cool.
I break through
it's a
Hey, is it?
Oh goodness.
I'm kidding.
We should have her on the show sometime.
There's some interesting topics we talk about. We walk on the wild side. Well, I'm leaving. I have a client in there, so I've got to sneak back. But nice to meet you.
Great to meet you.
Talking to you again.
All right.
Bye, Lauren. Have a good client or have a good session.
Bye, Lauren.
So, cool. But Lauren is actually one of my first clients. So I started off as her client. Met her through a guy that I was dating. She's friends with my ex's friend. And then when I told her what I was doing, she was like, "Hey, I kind of need you." So she became like one of my first, other than Green Dog, my vet clinic, my other client. She was like my first one after them. And then she definitely pitches me to everyone she knows. It's really funny. I get a lot of business from her. And
that's great.
We traveled to New York together. So so part of the reason I'm here is there's this seminar that she's going to that pertains to her work. So the type of work she does. She's like, "Hey, I think it would be really great if you came to this because it could help you with like how you promote me, do the ads, and then we're building her a new website and everything like that. I have my developer on that one. And it's funny, cool. She and I have very similar styles. And I showed her my website concept from my site because my site is just shit right now. I don't like sending people to it. It was just something to throw up. But I actually have my website in the works. And she's like, "Oh my God, I love this. Is exactly what I want." I'm like, "You can't take my website, dude." Sister.
All right, thanks for tuning in,
Veronica.
All right. If you're listening on iTunes, she says she's got to go. Well, thank you so much for tuning in. It's been a pleasure.
Thanks, Veronica. Do you have a profile you can share? What kind of profile? A Tinder profile? I'm just kidding. What profile do you actually want?
Because at the end, absolutely, like all your links and stuff as well, like drop them all in, and then that way everyone get in contact with you as well, so that way you can help them with their business as well, which would be cool.
Totally.
Let's jump back to when you started MySpace. Like, how did that all come about? Because everyone remembers MySpace, but no one remembers being on there. I do, but that's just because
What was the first part of the question? Because my phone cracked.
Going back to MySpace, like how did all that happen? Because everyone remembers MySpace, but no one really remembers MySpace. If you know what I mean. I'm
really aging myself here, aren't I?
I'm slightly older than you, so.
What? How old are
you? Guess.
You look like you're my age. You're probably you're 28, 29?
Yeah, 29. So
Yeah, I'm 28.
I'll be 30 pretty soon.
Come on.
Yeah, I know. I'm just saying, a little bit older.
Barely. Like, when's your birthday? Are you, wait, yeah, what's your sign? Are we compatible?
Sign. God. I tell you work that out for me. I'm born in September, so I'll let you figure that out.
Oh God, you're probably a Virgo. We are doomed.
That rings
I'm
a bell.
sorry, Ross. Your Australian accent definitely like tickles my fancy, but fuck, man, we're screwed. Excuse my language. Sorry.
Oh no.
I try not to actually. I'm a Leo.
Fuck it.
I think that explains a lot. Yeah, dirty 30. You know what? I think we should celebrate your dirty 30. So let me know what you're doing, where you at. I'll come totally fly to Australia. Business expense.
It was funny. My friend, when my friend turned 30, like for like a year, we're like, "Oh, dude, what are you doing for your 30th?" Like, he's how old man? So like, dude, what are you doing for it? He's like, "Oh, look, we'll go to Vegas. We'll do all this. We'll do that." I'm like, "Cool, no worries. It's getting closer." Hey, man, so we're doing Vegas? He's like, "Oh, nah, like maybe we'll just like hire out like a hall and I'll have all my family and stuff." I was like, "Bro." And then the time kept getting closer and closer. And then in the end, he's like, "Oh, I got some family things on. I'm actually not going to do it on my 30th. I was like, I was like, "Dude, you're letting the whole team down."
Wow.
So I won't be that guy.
Well, yeah, don't be that guy.
Yeah.
I mean, Vegas it's okay, but also I've always lived in the Southwest, so Vegas has always been kind of like,
Yeah.
It's Vegas.
La-di-da.
But
yeah.
I guess it's cool. I have no idea what I'm going to do for my 30th. I don't even know what I'm going to do for my 29th. I usually just get really drunk. I live in Hollywood specifically. I literally live like right on the boulevard. So, you know, I just walk outside and there's like a million bars right there. So it's pretty easy for me to be like, hey.
That's easy. Yeah.
But anyways, back to MySpace. Sorry, my ADD is legit strong. You gotta kind of keep me in check sometimes.
Hey, look, my ADD kind of jumps in. So I was always not diagnosed. I'm pretty sure I have adult ADHD. So it's kind of like when something new flows or shiny, then we'll just kind of run with it.
It's like, oh, butterfly. Yeah, totally. So MySpace. I lived in a really small town in Arizona, which is where I'm originally from. So I was born in Phoenix, lived in Phoenix till I was about 14 or so, moved up to a place called Camp Verde, Arizona. Where's Camp Verde? Exactly. It's like a population of 10, you know? It's over by Sedona, up in northern Arizona. Anyways, you don't have much to do, ever. So I just started, you know, getting on social media. And also, like, my parents had divorced, so I was like, I don't know what to do with my life anymore, you know? So I turned to the internet, I guess, a little bit. And I just kind of figured it out. One of the things that I did is I would send, you know, these bigger MySpace people, like some, like $5 or $10 or whatever, to, you know, have their friends add me, do shout outs, etc. Next thing I know, I have like 500,000 friends and I'm like, I'm popular. I don't actually have any friends in real life. But I'm popular on MySpace. I
have so many friends I've met on
I think
the
they call this. Yeah, I think they called us scene queens. So I did have this stupid little stripes in my hair, and it was terrible. It was terrible. Obviously, never grew out of that phase. I still have like little black wristbands and a crap ton of tattoos. And you know, when I go into my business meetings, I have like ripped up jeans, and they're like, "Who is this girl?" My leather jacket, you know, like. What? But Californians, we're very known for being super laid back. Most of us don't do the suit and tie thing. Even Silicon Beach. Influencer marketing before it was a thing. So it was cool. And then people started paying me for my shout outs. It was great. So I missed that. I actually have a huge network of Instagram influencers because a lot of them live in LA. Celebrities, I'm actually friends with it actually is a thing that you can be friends with celebrities in LA. So I don't try to exploit that, but sometimes I'm like, hey, I have this really cool thing, like, would you be interested? If not, no worries, you know. But most of the time we go out and karaoke and have a beer, you know, but like it's super chill.
I love karaoke.
But it is fun I actually am really good at karaoke.
Oh, I'm awful.
I'm
like
really
I'm not even gonna like mess around with it. I am awful, but it's great fun.
Really? No, I'm really good. Like I can do Celine Dion, like Whitney Houston. I do Lady Gaga. People like freak the F out because I can do a lot of those songs just like her. I have a very lower register. But I think I sound the most like Lizzie Hale. If you guys are familiar with Hailstorm, I'm again very much a rocker.
Okay, yeah.
My
I'll have to Google her afterwards.
reaction though, my favorite reaction is when I do Bodies by Drowning Pool, because girls can't scream. At least they think so.
Fair enough. And then you just down the hallway at the karaoke place, you just hear these screams. Someone's dying.
Oh, totally. Celebrity karaoke video blackmail for the win. We'll see. We'll see.
Yeah. So I've got this new business idea,
anyways,
and I also have a tape of you doing karaoke. So,
you know, it could be pretty cool. Pretty cool.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I think more of my blackmail would be like, hey, remember that time you did a handstand on Hollywood Boulevard? Totally got that on video, you dumbass.
Nice. Very cool.
So
shit.
it's cool.
Yeah.
People, a lot of the celebs out there actually are like, they're very accessible. Some of them, and you know, they don't really want to be bothered by like fans and stuff, but they're pretty chill about it. But they're just normal. They're really just normal people. They just happen to be known for being on your TV. So, but yeah.
It always fascinates me when those get real, like, just overwhelmed when celebrities are around, like, oh my God, like, it's interesting. It's just interesting to watch.
Yeah, it happens.
Yeah.
It happens.
Yeah.
So,
that's
but
cool.
yeah, so, you know, what else? What else can we talk about here?
Yeah, I mean, look, so, I mean, what do you think's next? I mean, you've just hired a team, so, and you're doing amazingly already, mostly with word of mouth. So, yeah, what do you think's next, Nikki?
I don't know. So like my goal is I would love to kind of be able to just travel the world and just not have to like be settled down anywhere. I want LA to be like my home base, obviously. I'm actually looking to move out of Ratchet Hollywood, and I'm looking at this really sweet loft in what we call Silicon Beach, which is Santa Monica.
Yep.
And it's you know, it's such a different world in LA to New York because in LA, when I tell guys, I've gone on, you know, I go out on dates or whatever. Sorry, this is getting personal, but I'll like be on a date or whatever.
Yeah.
And you know, there's 3 top questions that people in LA ask: how tall are you? What do you do? And how many roommates do you have?
Okay.
So I'm short, but I guess I look tall in my pictures.
Yeah.
I'm 5'2". I'm 5'2", so I'm a midget.
You are short.
And that's like on a good day. I am really short. Yeah, people are like, wow, you are like this little tiny mouse, you know, if you guys have ever seen Pitch Perfect, I'm tiny mouse, feisty mouse. I don't remember what she calls her. Anyways,
I actually watched Pitch Perfect 3 recently, so yeah.
Really? Is it good? I haven't watched it yet, but I want to.
I'll look for like a chick film, sure. Like, I mean, you know, now it's getting personal.
I love chick flicks. Come on.
Yeah.
It's fine, right? You gotta.
Yeah.
I definitely am known for crossing boundaries a little bit. You know, but I'll tell you about the kind of clients that I only take on because of how I am in a minute.
Yeah.
But anyway, so 5'2". What do I do? And I tell them, you know, I have this startup marketing agency that I'm doing, and it's been really good. Yeah. Do I have roommates? And I'm like, no, I actually don't. I live on my own. I have my own, you know. And people, this is like a horror story. This guy literally was like, oh, well, I have like 3 roommates or 4, you know, whatever it was. And, you know, just all this stuff. And he's like, oh, I'm still like a bartender. I work at like Chipotle. I don't even remember what it was. And I was like, that's cool. You're just at a different place in your life. It's cool. And he literally went to the bathroom and ditched me. He told me that he wanted to be with an Instagram, you know, somebody who was like an Instagram model, had no like real aspirations kind of thing. Yeah. So I'm known for being intimidating, I guess. Yeah. In New York, though, when I've gone out and socialized with people, they're like, oh my God, that's great. Like, that's amazing. Like, you're a force to be reckoned with. And I'm like, such a different vibe, guys.
Exactly. Yeah. So. Well, I don't get that. Yeah. It's I mean, fuck him, basically.
Oh yeah, no, sorry. It's one of my favorite stories to tell. But yeah, okay. So do either of you do launch plans? Basically, write out a weekly game plan outline for business outreach and social content. So something that I do is I have a generic strategy, and depending on how my analytics are and how, you know, things are going, I might tweak that. But in general, I have a monthly plan. Monthly game plan. Yeah. But again, it just changes daily. You know, what I try to explain to people, you know, like when you're paying these social media agencies like $500 a month or, you know, whatever these minimal prices are, because mine are a lot more even just for basic social media management. That's all they're doing. They're just posting. They're just posting.
Yep.
They're not going to, you know, you're going to not have any growth, if any, like minimal, if any. You know, and what I do is I post things in a scheduled time frame, depending on, you know, that business is, you know, when people are on, and I track that for every platform that they are on. I track like when people are generally on, and I try to space it out enough that I can work everybody in without having to do too much overlapping, because when I do a post, I don't just post it and be like, bye. I post it and I am going everywhere I can and blasting that post, hitting up my influencer friends, and I'm like, hey, you know, can you work with me a little bit, or, you know, whatever. And I get things, and that's how I get things to go viral, is, you know, I'm pulling my MySpace queen tricks. It's kind of, it is a little bit about who you know and how to work things out. So 9 p.m. to 9 a.m. is the best time to post, by the way.
Well, Rob, it depends what time zone you're in.
Yeah, it depends on what time zone. I'm in California, and I feel like anywhere from 2 to 7, 8 is a pretty good time to post things. And then it also depends on, you know, what the post is. If I'm trying to promote something of the day, or, you know, I'm doing some promos, I might fluctuate those postings. But sometimes I'll do like a post right in the morning if there's some, you know, like for instance, my vet clinic, they get some celebrity clients and stuff. So if I have a celebrity client coming in, I might post in the morning like, hey guys, you know, stay tuned. So-and-so is coming in, you know, watch the Instagram stories for their experience or whatever, you know, the whole thing, the spiel is. I'm huge on like how Gary Vee said, if you don't like the time, but if you do, okay. Yeah, Gary Vee's pretty cool. Are you guys, Rob, are you familiar with Carlos Gil by chance? I don't know if he'll respond in time, but
I was earlier I was laughing at sorry, where is it? I'll scroll back up. I may have missed it, but Rob was saying like, oh, you're happy to talk about a condom prank, but then saying watching Pitch Perfect is getting personal. That made me laugh.
Right? You're like, watching Pitch Perfect is more personal? Weirdo. Like, it's funny how like different context is different for everyone, right? You think that's more personal or personal than, you know, your mattress story, whereas, you know, I'm like, here's my life, guys. I'm known for being a little oversharey and chatty as hell. Anyways, I've actually gotten some pretty good response from Carlos Gil, and he also lives in LA. Downtown actually, which is about 10 minutes from where I live, and I'm really shooting for a meetup with him for when I get back and everything like that. And I'm so excited that even somebody at that status is like even like giving me anything. Like I'm like little fangirly, like hey. And he actually interacts with me on both my Instagrams, and I'll be like, hey, this is Nikki from this one, and then you also interact with me here. You know, so how was, you know, Thursday at 2? Let's do this. Let's get a drink, huh? Maybe some dinner.
Yeah, nice.
No, I'm just kidding. I think people kind of like my little flirt. I think that's kind of one of my charms, is I'm a little flirty.
Whatever works.
It's gonna get me in trouble one of these days. I swear to God, I am an HR nightmare, which is probably why I could never work for corporate.
Hey, it's all right. When you've got your own team, then you are HR.
I don't think you're supposed to be smoking your vape pen in, you know, with your tea, drinking vodka to get the ideas flowing. But hey, it works. Kidding. I actually don't do that. Don't actually do that. Maybe at the end of the day, I don't know. Maybe it's happened a few times. A few times every day.
Depends on the day.
I didn't even know Ross talked to girls. I know, right?
Like I'm hella shy. Like
I think he talks to Ruse.
Definitely, man.
I think he talks to Ruse.
Ruse?
Is that a thing?
Kangaroos? You have to fill me in on that one. Oh, kangaroos. Oh, of course. Yeah, absolutely.
My brother was in Australia for a long time, so he says Ruse.
Yeah, okay. No, lol, Patrick. Yeah, no, man, I'm hell shy. Like, I don't talk to girls at all.
What? You are so adorable. I would totally Like,
I'm kidding.
aw.
I'm clearly kidding.
Aw,
Sarcasm, like
I'm
high level
totally-
sarcasm.
You remember when I told you 98% of anything that comes out of my mouth is sarcasm?
Patrick, throw some shade. You know, oh shit.
Oh man,
But
so
yeah,
funny.
kangaroos it's yeah, even being from Australia, like yeah, we don't. I guess some do call them roos, but that's still just kind of. That's why I was like, "What are you talking about, woman?" But yeah, roos is you see them all the time. Like, yeah, you see them all the time. Like depending on where you are, if you're out in the country, then yeah, you can actually see them. Just kangaroos don't play. No, they actually don't. Some of them can be. You get too close, they will actually like claw you.
My brother told me, he was like, I was legit scared when there was one in the road. We were like backing up slowly.
Yeah. See, koala bears as well, like as much as they look soft and cuddly, they're actually, you can go one of two ways. They're actually soft and cuddly, or they're pieces of shit and they will scratch you and claw at you and everything. So it's really a 50-50.
My life is a lie. Man, you've ruined my life right now. Like mind blown / life dreams crushed of having a koala bestie.
Hashtag no regrets.
Jerk. What kind of life dreams can I kill of yours?
Yeah.
Not the koalas, right? Not the fucking koalas. Sorry, not the koalas.
Nikki, say whatever the fuck you want. Like it's my show. Like I don't care.
Well, I care.
It's your episode.
Yeah. Well, I gotta maintain, at least 10% professionalism.
It's fine. Well, like the odd cursing in there, I don't think anyone's gonna remember it. So it's at the end of the day, it's yeah. Kangaroo Jack is ruined for me.
I never watched it. I actually don't watch a lot of movies, believe it or not. So a lot of premieres happen like around the corner from my house, but I actually never go to them, and I don't ever watch TV a lot, unless I'm trying to go to sleep. But yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think we were on a topic, and then like we totally got off topic again.
Honestly, I don't even remember what we were talking about. Like,
it's gonna be such a bar. I don't even know. The ADD is so strong between us, Ross. I think we're made for each other. Oh my god, I'm so terrible, right? I am so bad. I love it. I love it.
And Rob, that's not
really
a knife. This is a knife.
Trouble.
Rob, that's not a knife. It's a spoon. If someone's mad about fuck, then sex is going to be a tough road. Well, man.
Fuck my life.
Yeah.
Do you guys ever go to FML? Do you guys ever read those? The FMLs are like,
No, like I know of
maybe
them,
that's...
but it's not really like a big. It could be a big thing in Australia. I guess within my circles, it's not just because it's entertaining, but at the same time, I don't sit there and consume a lot of stuff like that. It's interesting, it's funny, but yeah.
Totally.
Yeah, absolutely.
So,
but so I mean,
does anybody remember what we were originally talking about, though?
Doesn't matter.
I definitely want some people to get some value out of like half the crap that I say.
Yeah. All right. Well, I mean, how about this? With some value then. So what I guess can you suggest for those that looking to they're in the marketing space and basically what can you assist them with recommendations for what to do and that sort of thing?
Yeah, so it's really funny. So our field is very competitive, right? I still don't know what you do. Yeah, that is the ultimate secret.
Yeah.
I'm a spy. It's actually funny. I joke with my mentor. I will get back to that question. I joke with my mentor. I'm like, how do you know I'm not like some like corporate spy and I'm just gonna take out your like tech company, like with all the crap that you show me with your code and how do you know I'm not just playing you? Because he shows me his code sometimes and he's like, hey, look what I'm doing right now, or look what I'm about to launch, and I'm like, dude, what if I was like in a competing company, but obviously I'm not. But anyways,
I'll have to kill you.
Original. What was the original question?
What value can you offer people?
What value?
Yeah. All right, we'll go. We'll go to Rob's first. All right, what do you do? Break it down for us.
So I mean, obviously, I kind of call myself like Actually, so I do growth hacking and I do, social media strategy and, content and all that jazz. But what I've coined myself, so Sean Ellis has growth hacker. I've coined myself as a creative hacker.
Cool.
I'm very, very analytical and everything like that. I have that down to a T. But I'm also very much a creative. So I do a lot of painting. Obviously, I'm a karaoke buff. What? Actually, back when I was a kid, I actually was in I was in a touring metal band. So I do have that aspect. So I am a little bit creative. And then, so I call myself a creative hacker because I try to do things a lot differently. I feel like, even my website. So my website it's going to be minimal, but it has watercolor splashes in it. And I'm very much a colorful person. I mean, like, I have a million tattoos. They're all watercolor and stuff like that. So that's kind of my thing. That's kind of my brand. I had a hunch you were in a metal band. Yeah.
Yeah.
Very much so. I was, a while ago. Anyways, it's fast. We all make mistakes. How have you gotten comfortable in front of the camera? I'm 30, but I know video would gaslight my current project. Just jump in or totally.
Yeah, David, look,
just
absolutely,
jump in,
man. Just jump in.
Totally.
Like, one of my first episodes, Elijah, he shared it just the other day on my wall. And it was only like 6 weeks ago or something. And it was almost like cringeworthy by like how just almost awkward I was. So I was like, well, I'm definitely not an awkward person. So that's weird to watch. And yeah, that was like, because the podcast is only like mid-December. So yeah, like 6 weeks or something like that. So yeah, and it's just jump in, man. Like, if video isn't for you, that's cool. But if, with Facebook groups and Facebook pages and all that.
We're also part of
Facebook Lives. Absolutely. Like Facebook Lives definitely help with organic growth. See, Patrick remembers. Awesome. Yeah. So not that hard to forget from 6 weeks ago, but, I mean, it's just like the lives, like that's going to help with organic growth. So yeah, man, absolutely. And I do feel more comfortable with it. And it just happens because I know what the fuck I was doing and I still don't, but at least now I've done it a few more times.
Let's really give the credit to where it's due. This hot piece. I'm just kidding. God, I am so terrible.
It's fun. David, it's cool. It's fun. Like, that's it. And that's what it is about. It's about having fun. So David, if video isn't for you, that's cool, man. Like, whatever your all is, do it. If, you write blogs and just write the shit out of those blogs. Whereas if you want to do more video, maybe film it on your phone, not live, and then delete it when you're done because it's just about practice. So,
or you could have somebody, like how they have ghost writing. You can actually have somebody who is like your ghost face. So like an actor or like a friend, basically just call them an actor for all intents and purposes that, that are you but aren't you. They're the face and they're the spokesperson, so to speak. So, they know your the way you would answer things. They know like your model, like everything to a T.
Yeah.
Like they are you, but camera friendly. You can totally do that.
I mean, it's interesting. It's just, I guess, long term though, if you then ever wanted to take that plunge, then
totally.
Yeah, it would be Rob, I first recorded myself in the nude to get over fear, but accidentally it was Facebook Live, so penis.
Yeah, I think that's how I ended up on 4chan once. How many of you guys saved that one? No, I'm just kidding. I think I was famous in Germany. No. But anyway, so, a lot of, back to the original question of, some things there. I feel like a lot of people in our field, I've met up with a couple of like influencers and stuff like that, I think we are friends now, or I think we're friends. LA is also known for being a little catty. And when people are like, they meet me and I'm like, I'm really not catty. They're like, you probably are. You're probably some sort of backstabbing LA girl. And I'm like, I'm really not. I'm all about free love. Kind of a hippie. But I am kind of a hippie. Anyways, I actually had, met up with this one influencer and I was like, hey, do you use these programs? Because these are some programs that I use. And she's like, what are those? And I'm like, oh, dude, girl, I'm going to change your life because I want other people to succeed. There again, we can get more bees with honey than vinegar, right? So like, maybe I'm more, my clientele that I like to take, and I remember I was going to go back to that. I don't like taking on big businesses. I actually met up with a cryptocurrency business last night. Yeah. I didn't want to deal with it. I'm sure they have the money for me. They have a very large budget, but I didn't get good vibes.
And that's cool if you don't see the vision. I see it. Yeah.
there's certain people I don't want to work with, and I stay very true to like what I stand for. I stand for, you know, having fun, you know, building other people up, and, you know, these people, I didn't agree with their practices, didn't want to get involved.
Fair enough. Yeah.
But yeah, so like I don't really like taking on bigger clients. You know, and this also kind of goes back to, you know, I took on that one client who cannot pay my prices, but I know they can in a few months. Like I always look for the long term.
You've got that confidence in them.
Totally. But yeah, I won't take, you know, like if Amex or Visa or, you know, what are some, you know, Facebook or, you know, ever came to me, I'd probably say no. I'm not driven. I'm pretty freaking driven, obviously, to build this from nothing into, you know, what it is. And it's barely even running, and I'm already doing pretty good. And I haven't even promoted, you know, I don't even have like Google ads or anything out. Like I haven't worked on my SEO, like anything yet. And but I already have like more clientele than I can handle. But yeah, I stay very true to who I want to work with, and that's generally startups. I tend to get a lot of creative people, creative businesses. You know, I'm really, my background again is in science, so vet clinics. I have a couple of animal, your personality cells. Yeah, I really think that's why I try to get people to do. That's why I'm very my model here is like, yeah, we'll talk on the phone, but you have to meet me face to face, because like who I am on the phone versus who I am in person, completely different. On the phone, I'm totally all business. In person, I'm a lot more like, hi, you know, hey. And I totally own that I'm like super LA as hell. Like, and I say like every other word, and like, oh my God, oh Valley Girl. No, oh God, shoot me now. Oh. But anyways, so yeah, I think it's about staying true to who you are. Also, like you have to know when to say no. Like don't, you know, be hungry for sure. Like totally be hungry, but be hungry for the right things. Like don't take on things because you're struggling, because if you take on a project you don't believe in, or you just don't want to really work, but it's for the money, it's not gonna bode well for anybody. And then you're just wasting their time. Where in LA? So I'm in Hollywood, right on the boulevard. So basically Cahuenga and Hollywood Boulevard. I do go to Beverly Hills sometimes. And I'm about to move to Santa Monica, right off Colorado and 4th, basically. So right on the beach. Hey, what?
What's up? Yeah. Cool.
What's up? Yeah, and I literally bought a car in June, just a crappy little Nissan, and I'm about to trade it in and get myself an Audi. Nice. But I just want to buy in cash, so I'm doing pretty good.
Nice.
But you know what? Anybody can do this. Like the land of silver fire hydrants. True that. People are weird in Beverly Hills. They are. They're so weird. They're so like needy, and that's another thing. Like I don't want to take on bigger clients because they are the needy ones. Like, yeah, there's some small companies that can be very, like, they take up a lot of my time, but they have a lot of value to me, or history or whatever, and so I'm willing to work with it. But in the future, that's not something I want to deal with, and that's why I try to avoid like people who are like neurotic, I guess is the good word to put it, or micromanaging. I don't like being micromanaged. That's kind of part of the reason I started doing what I do. Is I am not a morning person. I'm not even a late morning person. I'm not even an afternoon person. Let's be real here. Like, my hours of work are usually like noon or 1 p.m. until I fall asleep at like 3 a.m. Sometimes, like, I have really bad insomnia, legit, but I function the best in the middle of the night. So
you gotta do what works for you.
I peak at midnight usually, and then like 1, 2, and 3, I'm usually just kind of, I'm not a person. Yeah, basically, I mean, we established that I'm white as hell, so I probably am just a vampire. I'm not even human, guys.
So I'll go. Rob had a good question. Yeah, you're saying?
Oh, I was gonna say part of my vampirism is I have 2 different colored eyes.
Well, there you go.
You guys can. Anyways, okay, so
blue and green.
So gray and hazel. And then it's like partial heterochromia.
Well. All right then.
So, but my Facebook shows it better. Anyways, thanks, Patrick. I was tennis pro. I definitely understand personality playing. Oh, can you read the rest of it for me? I don't want to touch things and ruin it.
All right. That's cool. So with Rob, he had a question before, and then we'll get to that one. So when did you first decide to be an entrepreneur? I work with startups, so it's always interesting to me.
Yeah, so I have always, so I have kind of a cool, well, I mean, kind of sad, but like interesting story is, I've always, when my parents divorced when I was like 11 or 12, my mom was a housewife, and my dad kind of I ended up with my dad, and he instilled independence in me. So this is where it all sources out. And, you know, we used to take long drives, and he would be like, okay, 1, you never depend on a man. 2, you will always do for yourself. 3, if you ever get an apartment, it's like if you ever get an apartment and you get a roommate, get an apartment that you could afford on your own without a roommate. Like, just have it for the convenience of it, but like never not be able to afford what you have.
Good tip.
Best advice ever. And if my dad ever sees this, like, shout out to my dad, because my dad really helped shape who I am. So, nice. And I, you know, so like I'm extreme, and I think like the independence that he instilled is a pro and a con. I come off kind of like a cactus a little bit. Actually, I wear this shirt because one, you know, kind of represents my Arizona. Also because I'm kind of not a vulnerable type person. I'm very tough. But yeah, so, and then, you know, there was a period of time where, you know, things got really rough. I got essentially kicked out when I was 17, had to drop out of high school, did end up going back. So there was a period of like, you know, being a street rat, I guess, you know, if we're going to kind of phrase that from Aladdin. And then I ended up kind of finding myself and wanting to be more. I never wanted to settle for that. And even when I do find it success, I'm like, okay, I can do this more. I can do more. I can do more. It's never enough. So I've always just had that entrepreneurial spirit. I did for a time own a vet clinic, co-own a vet clinic with somebody. But then the business partner and I just didn't work out. So I left. So this is technically my second venture. But this is the first one on my own. But I knew I always wanted to have my own business. Thanks. But even, you know, when I was in school to be a vet, I was like, okay, I want to have my own clinic. I don't want to work for anybody else, you know. And I like doing things differently than everyone else. So, you know, even my strategies and like my approaches to my marketing is not, you know, again, I like meeting up with people in the field and like networking. And they all tell me the same. They're like, what are you doing? Like, how did you even come up with this? And, you know, like, and they're like, this is actually kind of cool. Or you could be more efficient doing this. And that's why I love meeting people in the field too, is because they give me ideas I'd never think of. And it's probably typical agency crap. But I wouldn't know. I've never worked in an agency.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you said before. Yeah.
So.
Yeah, that's really cool.
But yeah.
Yeah. Well, Nicky, I got to say, this has been it's been great fun. Like, I think, it's been a really interesting story, and everyone's really enjoyed it. So how does everyone get in contact with you so you can help them with their businesses?
RedTube. Totally kidding. Did anybody catch that? Like,
I think I'm literally the only one that picked up on that.
And I waited for the pause. I was waiting for a reaction. It didn't happen. That's okay. So you can catch me on Facebook or Instagram. I have 2 Instagrams. One's my personal one. The other one's the one that I'm building. I unfortunately have not had any time to actually growth hack myself. And I know we're wrapping up things here, but it's really funny because have you guys ever noticed that social media agencies or a lot of digital marketing agencies, all their social media kind of sucks because we're all too busy optimizing everyone else's crap? Does anybody ever notice that?
It happens in a lot of industries.
I never have time for my own things. I never have time for my own stuff. And I'm trying, that's actually one of my upcoming immediate goals is like, I'm gonna make time for my own things so that, you know, I can show people like, yeah, it's nice to have these case studies. And, you know, in my pitch deck, like I do show like, here's some, you know, and I use the most recent viral things and it changes often. So, because I put the date in there and then people are like, oh, wow, this is like yesterday. I'm like, yeah, totally.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah, we have that problem. Yeah, we all have that problem. I've actually defended other agencies when someone is like, oh, well, I was looking at this agency, but their social media sucked. And I'm like, yeah, that's because you'll find that across the board. And if it's not like that, they probably paid for their followers. You'll have like an agency with like 20,000 followers, 1 comment. Liar.
Nothing sus there at all.
Anyways, what was the original question?
So it was just about how people get in contact with you.
Facebook. So I don't know. Does it link up to my Facebook here? for your personality to motivate my team. I'll put in my links. I'll put in my Facebook and my Instagrams. I honestly don't really use my Twitter that much. I just never really found the use in it. I think Instagram is kind of like the most for me.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah. So.
Well, I thought I didn't touch Twitter, and then turns out it's linked to my YouTube. So every time I upload one of these episodes, I went on Twitter the other day, and turns out I've been posting for like weeks. And I was like, oh, well, there you go.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I use it for the vet clinic, and they went from like having no engagement and impressions and stuff, and I exponentially increased it, and I barely really touched it, and they were like, oh my God, what are you doing? I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing. Does anybody ever notice that either? We never really know what the hell we're doing. We're just like,
just happens.
Kind of like, no, we should do this. Let's see if it works. Oh shit, it went viral. Yes, I still have a job.
Oh, digital high five. There we go.
Digital high five and kissy blow.
Oh shit.
Thanks for the compliment, Rob, about my personality. Thanks. Either people think I'm too much, or they have your like, who is this girl?
Yeah.
Actually, when I was 18, I got one of my first jobs at a bill collection agency. Had no idea what the hell I was doing, but I went into the interview and I was so hungry for money that I went in, and the guy was like, well, do you think you can hit these numbers? I'm like, bitch, I could hit those numbers yesterday. Literally said something like that. I was like, watch me. And he's like, and the guy was like, what? Got the job. And I actually beat out a lot of their team too. I was really good at it. Do not consider myself a salesperson. That's another thing. I suck at sales. Absolutely suck at sales. And you know, even my approach with my stuff is my work speaks for itself. You either want it or you don't, or we need to, I'm not going to convince you to take me on. You need to convince me that I should take you on. But I have the ability to be, I have the ability to be picky. So I just went on red too. Wish I didn't ask my son to type that for me. guys, do not do that, especially if there's children around.
Oh, fuck, Rob.
I'm so sorry about that.
That's great. That's actually great. I think we're going to wrap that up before we get too much in trouble.
I told you I was inappropriate. I warned you. That's okay. My battery's about to die anyways. I'm at 10%.
Nikki, this has been an absolute pleasure. Thank you so much. And everyone tuning in, thank you so much. If you're on the replay, we'd love to hear from you. If you could drop hashtag replay, that way we know you watched this later. We'd love to hear from you. So, Nikki, thanks so much again. And we'll chat again soon.
I better get an invite to your birthday.
If I have one, we'll see. We will see.
You will have one. Because I am the party.
All right. Thanks, Nikki.
Have a good day.
You too.
Bye, guys.
See ya.